She laughs. She laughs as you close it. You just don't see her anymore.
She said don't mind her.
You slowly push the window shut, and it sort of disrupts the light of the room a bit. This place is dingy as hell. They probably kept the open window so she'd get some sort of fresh air.
I mean, I'll open it back up before we leave. I'm gonna give the house a once-over, see if there's any basilisk tracks, the usual.
Okay, are you starting to investigate the house?
I am. I'm not
Okay.
trained in home inspections, so I guess I'll just roll a flat 20.
Yeah.
Not awesome.
You know who
Not
might be
awesome.
good at looking
You
around the
know
house
who's
for
probably
shit?
very good at that?
Sprout.
Sprout just like toddles around and uses his question mark like a broom, sweeping everything away in front of him, dusting for prints.
He's better at cleaning than Glamier.
You decide to give the house a once-over, and you enter into investigation mode. You're hot on the trail, after all, looking for any clues of time basilisks. Yeah, you take a quick look around the room, Velvet, and you don't find much beyond what is plainly obvious. It seems that the furniture in here has been dragged away, and there are multiple scuffle marks where something heavy was probably moved. If you had to guess, there was probably actually a piano or something in front of that window over there. And you take a look around the room that you're in currently, and if you had to guess, that's probably a kitchen? Rather strange. You continue taking a look around as your two comrades wander in.
Is everything going okay?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know it's gross in
Wow.
here. So I think the coma is a time coma because you know how like, don't freak out until I finish this analogy. You know how when there's like a dead body, it, shows signs of being deader and deader? Comas have a similar thing, but for like fatigue and malnutrition. And this one doesn't have any of that. And that's very odd. So I'm gonna guess it's a time coma. So let me know if you see any time basilisk tracks.
As Celine walks over, she pulls up a cloth you haven't seen before to cover her mouth, and then also hands another cloth over to Atticus. Maybe like wrap your face just in case.
Oh, don't worry, I came prepared. He flips the hood of his cloak up for the first time, and it has an inlaid like scarf on the inside of the hood that he stretches around his mouth.
That's awesome.
That's super cool. When you were like, oh, don't worry, I came prepared. For some reason, the immediate preceding image I got in my head was Atticus opening his mouth in a rectangular fashion and just going woo and hoovering up all of the dust.
Celine just kind of smiles. I should have anticipated as much. So obviously I don't have medical experience with this, but looking at this person, is it similar to that case that had been mentioned? Yeah,
that you dealt with before. Actually, yes. And Celine, you are pretty used to casing places like this for obviously different reasons, but
Yeah.
you're used to internalizing like a space and processing it. First things first, you do catch, the open window is of course of note, and your eyes sort of focus in on the set of drawers over here. A place that people would commonly keep jewels or money, and you notice that the lock has actually been broken, which is weird.
real classy. And that's coming from me. If you excuse me, Glamier.
Ooh, what secrets?
Not especially. She's gonna remove the lock and actually open the drawer to see what's inside, or what would have been inside.
You peer inside, and all the valuables, this person clearly doesn't have many, but they're still in there. They're just shaken around slightly. And for a split second, you get one of those sort of visions as your eyes fog up. One of the guards is sort of rifling around in here, fitting all of the valuables into his pockets. He starts to wander away, makes his way over to this door, and suddenly he feels a presence behind him. Hey, what do you got there? A big smile as the vision fades and this man's head dips down, likely making contact with the door frame. The valuables have all been returned.
Oh, well, that's good at least.
I don't know about time comas, but Celine, can you do the thing you did when we were in Madigo's studio and you looked at the paintings for magical bad things?
I could sure try.
And I can see if there's any. He takes out his goggles and puts them on, completing the look of just a fucking sand person. I can look for, I don't know, magnetic fields or anything weird like that.
Sure.
Ooh.
Man, your outfit is so cool.
Celine is also gonna like examine the area. Like, is there anything on the ceiling?
Ooh.
And like even
Interesting.
like also looking out the window, is there like tracks or like obviously
Velvet
3 days
opens the
ago?
window again.
Yeah. Okay. So, Atticus, you start scanning for magnetic signals, and almost immediately, whatever device you're using for this starts to go haywire. It just starts spinning.
Whoa, whoa.
And Celine, at the same time, you take a look at out the window in particular. You look in and you notice actually it's almost imperceptible, but sort of like along the very edge of the windowsill, there's a little bit of that rainbow moss.
Ooh.
Huh. Okay, well obviously let's not touch that.
This is... Whoa. Out of character, Jay. Is it normal to see crazy magnetic field disturbances like this?
No!
Okay, I was gonna say, like, in the vicinity of, say, RNA and technology, like, is this something
No.
you see just because of the echo or anything weird like that? But...
Nope. This is 100% new and wacky.
Whoa.
Celine like tightens her gloves a little bit. All right. So, Velvet, have you examined her body at all? I realize that's a little intrusive, but
Not in depth. I didn't like undress her or anything.
Celine is just gonna very carefully, like, I assume she has sleeves, just kind of raise those and very delicately to avoid, if there is any of this moss, to avoid disturbing it.
It doesn't seem like there's any on her. It appears to be mostly centered around that window, weirdly. And Sprout, what are you doing?
Sprout's actually at this window, trying to use its little dangle to actually open it.
Ooh, Sprout, with a beep, you manage to swing the window open, and against this closed one, there's actually a bigger buildup of that moss.
So here's a weird theory. I'm just jumping to conclusions, quite frankly, but you know, might as well have a jumping point. What if this buildup happens on these windows, and then what direction does the wind blow?
Glamier sticks his finger in his mouth, sticks it out the window. Looks like it goes from left to right here, so it doesn't really blow through this window.
But
Exactly.
okay.
Velvet checks this other window that I assume has also been closed for a while.
There is a moss buildup on that one.
And it's larger
Less,
than the open
actually.
window? Oh.
It's, okay, so there's actually quite a bit of it on this pane, and it sort of fades as it heads towards this one.
Celine pops this window.
Oh boy.
There is no moss buildup on that window whatsoever.
That's weird.
Out of character, it looks like it's building up in the direction pointing toward the RNA compound. La 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 la.
Celine's gonna look under the bed.
Celine, you find the killer.
Die.
Johnny Moss.
I'm gonna moss ya.
Johnny Young Moss.
Okay, no, there's a shoebox or two down there. Those are probably personal amenities.
Oh, okay. Well, she immediately puts the blankets back down.
Okay, I'm gonna go and see outside around the house. Also, it's really dusty in here. I need to
Yeah,
put-
I'm gonna join you because I don't want any of us to be alone in this weird town.
Speaking of alone in this weird town, Atticus wandered outside and is trying to follow is trying to make sense of the readings to head towards the source of whatever this disturbing, weird magnetic field is. Because he is fascinated.
As you head outside the house, something kind of weird happens. It stops spinning quite as much. Like, it's still going, it just calms down a bit.
That was
So... Zachariah just sees Atticus go outside, looks down like, that's not my problem. Looks back up, sees him wandering away, sees that nobody else is following, actually visibly starts to get nervous.
Juliet, over trying to fit into this chair, just holds up one finger and follows after him.
I like to think the chair's stuck on her as she's walking.
She did, yeah, she had a hard time getting there.
no.
Zachariah walks up to the door and actually knocks and lets out a, like, almost confused and frustrated, like, I hate to bother you, your small friend is walking away.
Yeah, I envision,
What?
like, as he's knocking, we're all walking out.
I am not used to keeping track of a child.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Almost gave me an anxiety attack.
So Atticus
I'll go this
is
way.
assuming that since he walked south out of the house and the readings
Oh, come here,
started to die down, he just turns and starts waddling north to see if they get stronger this way.
They get stronger.
Oh, cool.
It starts spinning. It isn't providing you a direction, but it is
is.
giving you more or less a hot cold.
hot and cold. I can totally track this down.
Is this just like a big water fountain or something?
It's a bath.
Is there any moss in it?
Ooh, yes, actually. There's, like, the very, very faintest buildup along, like, say, like, this semicircle back here.
And out of curiosity, for the strength of the buildup, is it like stronger here and then like
Yeah.
okay? So once again, it's like what is considered probably closest to the individual.
Yeah. Zachariah wanders back up. You guys find something?
We found some icky rainbow moss that's got magical properties that makes you sick if you're not magic. Or wait, no, if you are magic, which one was it? Wait,
If
I
you're
can touch
magic.
it and I'm not magic, so.
There is
Yeah,
a
it's bad.
There's a really powerful magnetic field. It's fluctuating like crazy. I've never seen anything like it even in the rocket wastes. I think it gets stronger this way.
Oh, my.
Zachariah looks over at Juliet and they exchange, like, kind of weird looks.
Should we follow him?
I don't want to.
Well, you don't have to, if you'll excuse us.
That's fine. He looks over and then just actually, like, takes off his hat for a second, smooths his hair back. You're gonna check on the coma cases, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Could I ask you to make a detour then?
Okay. I suppose you let us into the city, so we owe you a favor.
He motions with his head. There's one back this way.
She looks over at Atticus. I told you we're getting in.
It shouldn't take very long. Zachariah's, like, Velvet, you're picking up more of that weird energy from this guy. A lot of the pops and hisses have actually, like, sort of evened out to a strange melody. You can tell, for what it's worth, this person is concerned about what's happening. Just, it's buried under a lot of stuff that hangs in the air. Well, I have to genuinely thank you, I suppose. Not just for getting me off of work for today, but actually investigating the goings-on here. If
Yeah.
you're independent do-gooders, that actually makes things a little bit easier on my part. In my case, I'd need to pass on any of my findings to my higher-ups, and who knows what they're going to do with them, but if it finds its way into, say, the hands of an interested third party, that's bad for my boss and probably good for me.
I was about to ask, couldn't help but notice there doesn't seem to be too much interest in investigating this any further. Do you have anything to comment on that with, or?
We've actually been expressly forbidden from investigating it further. I'm not allowed into any of the buildings. Doesn't stop me
Oh.
from sneaking in and leaving flowers sometimes, though.
Weird. Hang on just a second. Where are you
Miss?
going?
Are you okay? We were going this way.
Where did... You know what? You know what? She's a grown woman. I am sure she will be fine.
Can I use my knowledge of thieving to see if I could at least have an idea of where she might have wandered off to?
Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
Oh, that'll do. Sif, where'd she go?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay.
I'm like,
Up there.
I'm so zoomed out. Where is
I'm
that?
looking around.
Where?
Where is she?
You'll find her if you keep an eye out.
Oh.
You'll find her.
How the fuck did she get over there? She's north of the house we're going to.
What the? How'd she get there? Celine, you see you see a glint of light off of armor.
Celine just like very cheekily does the eye, points at her eyes and points over to her.
You are now my enemy.
Rival.
Zachariah wanders in front. Yeah, this is actually the house of a personal friend, you could say, I guess.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
He suddenly stops. And you hear the clanking of sort of boot falls all around you.
Oh boy.
Suddenly, on all sides, you see some Arnane guards actually headed your direction.
Oh,
I like to
good.
think these two just popped out of the water with like little
Snorkels.
little snorkels. Yep. You're under arrest.
Pretty quickly, you're actually surrounded by these people who are apparently lying in wait. They rush around and form a pretty sloppy circle around you.
Sloppy.
Sloppy.
Hello.
Okay, stop right there. They're all holding, like, batons of some variety. I don't think you understand who I am and who these are. I'm Captain Zachariah. These are my very important guests. No, we know who you are! They all start to wander forwards. You're the fucker who broke my brother's nose! Zachariah looks flabbergasted. Language!
There is a child present. And
Oh, I'm
maybe,
sorry,
maybe 2 children.
She points at Sprout. Sprout writes on his board, fuck.
How dare you! Zachariah fluffs up to his full, incredibly not very big size.
You see a perspective trick go on. If you look north of Zachariah, he lines up pretty well with Juliet, her aura in the distance growing.
Listen, we don't have any business with you guys. Just leave your friend here, okay? He has a lot to answer for. He's been kicking the crap out of us lower downs for weeks. Stop stealing stuff and I'll stop doing it.
Yeah. It sounds like he's pretty justified in his actions.
Thank you.
Celine
Oh
actually
my
like
God.
steps in front a little bit. So,
He
listen.
looks genuinely touched.
Listen. It's one of those things of what goes around comes around. So,
And let me tell you, you had a whole lot coming, and you'll have a whole lot more coming if you don't stand aside. He's smiling at them. They sort of raise their weapons. This is looking like a pretty tense situation. I'll let you like get a few more words in, but yeah, it's coming to blows unless something changes.
You're not going to beat up my uncle, are you?
really? You think you guys are the good guys? You're gonna beat up his uncle? In front of him?
This guy down here, alright, that's it, man, I'm out.
Yeah, Zachariah gets the biggest, dumbest, most open-mouthed, like, what the fuck expression on his face.
Do I have a nephew?
Are you also really gonna attack the guy that, I don't know if you've noticed, she gestures to her broken arm. I had a misfortunate situation of crossing the bridge and I lost my footing and he saved me, okay?
She looks over at you, blinking with giant dinner plate eyes.
As a doctor, I can 100% ascertain that if this child begins crying, there's a likely chance that more people could slip and break their arms. And who's going to catch them if Captain Zachariah's not there?
Do you really want to be the exact point to pinpoint the childhood trauma that was built in this young man?
You already cursed around my dear nephew! How dare you! I'll write you up! I'll have you all written up! Zachariah says with his finger in the air.
Lenny does something completely unexpected and just starts laughing and sits on this rock.
Thoroughly shamed, they exchange looks. Oh, I mean, maybe when your nephew stops visiting, we'll catch up. We'll catch up. Your day's coming,
man.
Captain.
When that kid's not here, you're done for.
It's okay, the bad men are gone now. She hugs Atticus and pats him on the back.
You didn't have to do that for me. Normally, that was unbelievable. He looks so
Celine
hurt.
pulls out the little card that he wrote for him. I did, actually.
he actively like fumbles, like he sort of actually grips his throat for a second to make some like sound. Oh, sorry, it's been a while since I've been around somebody so. You're great. You're friends. Come on. You're doing me a favor, and it seems like you just bailed me out of a situation. How? Oh, no, I've got to start thinking of a way to repay you.
Man, that was really clever, Atticus.
Yeah, good thinking, Atticus.
Can't let anything happen to Scrag Jaggins.
Clary, are you coming?
I'll be there in a minute.
Velvet like faces away from it and leans back and scoops him up onto her back and walks.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's too late.
Zachariah wanders back in front of Juliet. Did you see that, Juliet? My life was at risk.
What did they do to you? She like grabs his face. Are you okay?
I'm completely fine. Thanks to the intervention of our new friends, they didn't harm a hair on my head.
So when Velvet was actually pretty sure that was going to come to some flavor of blows because shitty flavor of Arnan guards. So she was like checking to see if Juliet would be walking down with like, I don't know, a mace or something with menace around her. What was she looking like?
So, you look down at her feet right now. They are smoking. It's like black aura of smoke and plumes coming off. You don't know what that's about, but you know that she was definitely up here doing something, waiting.
Okay. Zachariah twists around in Juliet's grasp. She is pinching his cheeks together so he looks like a blowfish. If you could follow after me, then.
You know, I think I understand you a little better now, Celine. Maybe it's okay to tell a little fib sometimes if it's for a good cause.
It'll be okay.
He's trying to walk away, but she's holding him still.
There was a
Sorry,
fence in the
Atticus.
way. I couldn't have got there in time.
Atticus, continue on. I'm sorry.
That was the full thought.
Yeah, Celine just looks down. See, lying is still a bad thing, but there are definitely right and wrong ways to do it. And that right there, that was the right way. That was real clever. Look at you.
Why do I lie? To help my friends.
Mm-hmm. And now you understand.